Hello everyone, welcome back to ThinkHub. I am Daksh Khandelwal, your host and host of this series Beyond the Headlines. So basically in today's video we would be covering three most important stories around AI from South China Morning Post newspaper, and we will try to understand what key learnings we have learned from that three news. And also that I have given you an update on the Hindu newspaper in my last video. I would bring some Hindu news also, the Indian news also in my next few videos. Not today, but yeah, in my next few videos, I would bring that also. So let's get. I don't have to. Yeah, also, I have given you my update. Everything about regularity. There will be a video every week. I would send you a video, upload a video, basically. Every Saturday, between 9 to 8:45 to 9 p.m. I will upload the video. So let's get started without wasting any further time with a small intro. So the first news is that the China stock traders has cut the leveraged position by 14% in July. And also the tech sell is off much. And what this story is basically, China's stock traders have been unwindily have leveraged their positions over the past month and fueling the first ever stock sell off on one of the major index of technology shares. Basically, this is because the reduced exposure considered with the unraveling of unraveling of global artificial fever. Basically, the why this fall off, just because of the artificial fever, and investors question the need of massive capital spending on data centers and cloud services. Why they are the investors have asked a question that why we are using that massive data centers and cloud service infrastructure amid this artificial intelligence fever. And also the stock valuation and expectations of monetary has tightened by the Federal Reserve. And also this basically investors are exciting their leverage position largely explains the big decline in this market. They are just particularly technology and AI stocks, and they are just giving their all investment to the AI stocks only. And though the little has been changed in the fundamentals, the saying said by the Wang Chen, a partner in XU Funds Investment Management in Shanghai, but the AI stock swings have overseas both provoked and accelerated the deleveraging here. So basically, in investing, the greatest risk is often not being wrong about the opportunity. It's taking so much risk that you don't survive long enough to benefit from it. So that's the motive of this AI industry. And you can just read it. The current outstanding value of margin trading as percentage has free float stocks. So this some percentage you can just read it. Basically in investing, the greatest is not often this basically the wrong about this. It's the risk that you couldn't survive long enough to benefit from it. If you can't benefit from it, then there is a risk. So that's the in this investing area, this is the greatest risk is often calculated or what. And now moving towards the second news. So second news is that why Chinese brokers forecast a AI share tech and chip rebound. Basically, why the brokers have forecast an AI share and tech Rohan. So basically, Chinese brokerages have expressed optimism for the domestic tech share. So in the first news also there was some talk about tech industries and basically stocks and all, and in the second also they are talking about the AI stocks and all. So the liquidity pressure in some industry remains the same, and the impact on some non-core AI shares have largely subsided. So the non-core AI shares has just largely subsided. The country's second largest brokerage by total assets shared in a basically in a node. And you can just read it the comments and on published on Sunday. After the global market experienced a sell-off in semiconductor shares, there is sell-off in semiconductor shares also, which is very important industry in the world, semiconductor industry. So there is sell off in that basically in that shares also. And in Asian trading on Monday, Kospel fell over 5%. You can just read it this percentage things. I don't think I should tell you in that about that. And similarly, China's securities are also country's eighth largest brokerage and noted that this indiscriminate panic selling has likely to the because of this AI, and the brokerage has basically projected the domestic market would shift attention back to the corporate earnings and company fundamentals in August month. And while selling pressure had persisted recently, the brokerage has sent half of the August as a crucial test of whether the tech sector would be the stage of strong rally or this AI or this will be taking part in that. And also investor closely watch the results of Nvidia and other chip makers who are just investing in this semiconductor industry, just thinking about that how this loss can be beared from that these companies who are these chip makers. And one of the famous chip makers is Nvidia make chips, with graphics card and all. So let's see what happens in this, basically in this system. And moving towards the third news, so third news is that US tech giants invited to discuss AI security test at White House. So basically, you can say that the technologies like Meta, Anthropic will be among the companies invited to the White House on Tuesday to discuss basically a voluntary framework under America's leading artificial developers. Also, the uh, I have told you there's a trade AI trade war and between America and China, and Reuters have reported on Monday that Trump's administration has also finalized the detail of voluntary cybersecurity test, and the information of website and first confirmed the White House would be meet on Tuesday, and it was clear they had the details about that framework and all. And in the White House, there were Meta, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and did not immediately respond to the request for comment. They did not immediately respond, but yeah, they just thought about some, given some their framework and all. And the arrangement, all those arrangement was intended to identify models with advanced cybersecurity, cyber capability, and determine how they safely can deploy to the strengthen critical infrastructure. So just you, America just focus on cybersecurity, critical infrastructure and all. And the frameworks which officials were directed to develop by August 1 reflects the administrative attempt to introduce the limited safeguards of that AI systems and all, slowing the China's developments into competitions with China. And it's a concerns prompted using concerns for Donald Trump as the president to abandon an earlier proposal for a long government review. Also, Trump has said that we have proposed a 90-day review window, telling reporters that we are leading China and we are leading every day. So we don't want to do anything that's going to get in that way of lead. So we are leading. We don't know. We don't want to just uh, do for it the race. We have to just properly work for our country and for our state. That we should be cyber security very good and professional and ethical way of using AI. We are just, and in the perspective of that AI war, so we are, the prime minister, the president has said that we are leading we are leading China and we will be leading everybody in this whole world. This is the statement by the US president. And also you can just see that they signed a long awaited executive order on June 2, and federal agencies and just this emergence and the emergence of anthropic powerful mythos model has been said to help the spur the order amid concerns over this. You can just read it, and this that's the basically three newses of that today. Wait a minute. So yeah, that was the three news from today. That is for 4th August 2026. And we will now just shift to the key learnings from these three newses. So first learning from the first news is that along with that, not first, second news also combining both news, so that this AI systems have been just monitoring disturb the whole world in any every sector, in whether it is share sector or investment sector or any sector. This AI industry is booming every day and just disturbing every sector of its its surroundings and all. So that's the learnings from the first and second news, and the learnings from the third news is that US is not, the difference between China and US is China is thinking to build anything below Scott. So basically their goal is to cut the what we say cut the cost. So basically, their goal is to cut the cost. But the goal for America is to be a proper ethical way, and a proper cyber security should be there in that AI systems and all. So there's the two difference between, there is a huge difference between America's thinking around this AI AI world and the China's thinking around this AI world. And both thinking, it depends on how they use this AI, and how both thinking is something different in their own way. And let's see who wins this war, and if someone's entry is also there expected. Yeah, some other country is expected to enter in this war and all. So this is not a war basically of uh, what we say, uh, uh, what we say are, I'm just forgetting the words. Let me search. I've just forget the word. Weapons. Sorry, yeah, weapons. So it this is not, they're not a war of weapons. It's a war of technology. So let's see who wins this war, and who just new member who get enter in this war, a wildcard entry. Let's see what happens in the future, and I would be updating in that in this videos only. And that's it. That's all for today's episode of, I think it's 65th episode of Beyond the Headlines. And if you found this video useful, consider subscribing to ThinkHub for more news, AI, and learning content. I will see you in the next video lecture. Till then, keep learning and stay curious.